Hey, and happy Friday. It's Stella Grace here, bringing a weekly video on my YouTube channel. We discuss all the things, all the energetic things, all the evolutionary things, and some astrological bits and pieces as well. So today, Cancer new moon, but what I'm going to talk about is actually great wisdom for us to access at any point, any day of the year, any time for the journey, at any point, because we need the tools, don't we, to navigate this stuff. We're in it together. We're on this crazy thing called evolution together, and that's why I'm really passionate about bringing content each week to talk about tools, to talk about how we're riding the energies, and to sharing it together. So welcome. I'm in a different location today. I'm in my flower corner today, which is lush, and it's actually linked to what we're going to talk about. So we've got the Cancer new moon, but I also want to talk to you about 3 themes today. I want to talk to you about self-care. I want to talk to you about the divine feminine rising in all of us, whether we're men or women. And I want to talk to you about tribe, in particular the Penthouse Tribe. So some good stuff. They are Cancer related themes, but they will also serve us for any time whatsoever. So let's get into it. So Cancer new moon, let's start with that. Get today's time sensitive little bit of astrology out the way, and then we can unpick these themes that will serve us for any point. So if you're watching this later, it's going to serve at any point. The astrology today is the Cancer new moon tonight, UK time, 23:57, just before midnight. And so we've got this build up energy now. So I'm recording this 10 o'clock in the morning-ish that day, and we're in this build up energy. So for new moons generally, we have a period of more intense new moon vibes 2 days before and 2 days after. If you like your manifestation bits, I find personally, and see what resonates for you, but for me, it resonates to call in my wishes and set my intentions on the period slightly after the full moon. So in the new moon. So 2 days, the strongest period is in 2 hours. If you want to stay up for that this evening at midnight here in the UK. But for 2 days after that, that to me is a more intensive time to make manifestations and really solidify them in. But this is a great period before and after. So 2 days before and after any moon phase that you want to work with, whether it's new or full, that's the ideal time if that resonates with you. And today's new moon in Cancer is also bringing with it a lot of feminine feels. So this is where we're going to cover those 3 themes that I mentioned. We've got some feminine feels, but they absolutely relate to the men as well. So the astrology is the new moon there in Cancer brings up a lot of sensitivity often. Now that doesn't have to be a bad thing, and in fact I don't know about you, but I have been termed sensitive before as if it's in a bad way. And yes, we all have our emotional reactions, and Cancerian energy, I'm actually a Cancerian, so it's interesting, I have been termed sensitive before, but the term sensitive has been really derogatory and negatively given connotations to, I feel, because actually what a gift it is to be sensitive. Being sensitive means that we are in touch with energies, that we can feel atmospheres, we can pick up on what's going on in a room without having to think about it too much or to say too much. We kind of just know. It's very empathetic and it's very intuitive. So we have, whenever the moon is in a significant phase like new or full, we have access to utilizing these energies in a little bit of a stronger way. We're not going to all experience the energies the same because we're all completely unique. So astrology just really gives us some flavors, and we can utilize and access them, and of course we can do that at any point, any day, at any time as well. So with Cancerian themes at play today, we've got this beautiful heightened sensitivity, which I encourage you to reframe if you've ever been termed as sensitive, or if you've heard the connotation or thought of the connotation as sensitive in a negative way before. Sensitive is about feeling. And what an incredible gift to be alive and to be human and to be able to feel. So I don't mind sharing, for many years, when I was on a journey of grief, I couldn't even feel. I was numbing. I would desensitize myself through relationships, through other things, through external stuff. And actually it's really healthy to feel, you know, it's really healthy to go there with emotions. They do what they're supposed to do, and a healthy healing system is processed through our system, excuse me, through our bodies. We're supposed to feel emotions for them to move through us and release. So I invite you to think about your feels today and over the weekend. You know, anything that comes up, loads of nurturing, loads of self-care, loads of self-love, and this will spill out onto others as well. So we've got this beautiful Cancerian energy of sensitivity, of emotions, of it's a water element. So you might want to be beside the water or enjoy a nice bath, or bring in that water element in some way that really feels healing and nourishing to you. Potentially, if you don't have that kind of access, or that's not convenient, then you know, you can just kind of meditate on this energy, or just simply enjoy the Cancerian energy in the space in any way that, you know, resonates with you. So the new moon is actually at the same time in Cancer as Venus is not too far away. So we've got the sun and moon together. So new moons are always the sun and moon together at the same degree. Hence why we wouldn't see the moon. And Venus isn't too far away from the sun and moon conjunction. So she's about 8 degrees away, which isn't a close conjunction, but she's still a key player today. And I think that's because she is making an exact square to Chiron. So square in astrology is a challenging aspect that requires some action. It's always a great opportunity for learning, but it might not feel comfortable at the time. So what we have with Venus activating a square with Chiron at the same time as the new moon is Venus, she's active. So she's offering a softening. Venus is always about soft energy, feminine energy. And again, this ties in really well with the Cancerian energy. It's a softness. There's a feminine space. The Cancer archetype, interestingly, is the mother of the zodiac, and also the divine feminine here with Venus in Cancer. So we've got all that beautiful feminine energy of the mother of the zodiac, and of Venus, the femininity of the zodiac, and together in the sign of Cancer we've got really heightened feels on the divine feminine. So that's really beautiful. And whilst all that is happening, Venus is in a square to Chiron. So the action there that can be required for learning is about looking at our deepest wounds, because it's Chiron, the wounded healer, that she's making an activation to. So with that, we might be a bit more reactional. We might have wounds, triggers, things come up that can feel quite pressing. And that's also because Chiron is in Aries, so there's that bit of fire there. But we have got Venus bringing to any reactions a softness. So we've got an ability to soothe. We've got an ability to slow down. If there is any tempers flaring or any wounds arising, we can bring in that feminine energy. So this is why I wanted to talk to you today, one of the things about the divine feminine rising. So let's get into that. Let's start with the divine. We've touched on the astrology. Let's get into the divine feminine aspect of that energy rising within all of us, because whether we're male or female, we are all having divine energy within us in both parts, in equal counterparts, ideally in equal measure. I don't mean like 50-50, but in a balanced sense. We want balance in our feminine and our masculine energy. Now, of course, as a woman, I'm going to be more feminine. I'm going to have more feminine energy, but I still have masculine energy, and it's really great if I can keep those in balance. Now, of course, they'll go out. I know when I'm too far into my masculine energy, if I'm constantly busy, if I'm striving, if I'm working loads of long hours, if I'm pushing and doing, rather than being in a good balance with my feminine energy, which is receptive, being, alluring, not striving, not pushing. It's again thinking about these Venus themes of alluring and attracting, not chasing. It's sitting in feminine essence is more of a softness. It's more of intuition, receptivity, flow. I don't know if you just noticed something going across the screen then. I don't know what that was. I'm going to replay that. It'd be interesting to see. And feminine energy is something that we're going to call to be sitting in all of us. The divine feminine and the divine masculine are absolutely both rising in all of us. We are all evolving. So when I say the divine masculine and feminine energies, that's our more unique, divine, higher states of being, as opposed to toxic feminine and masculine. So toxic feminine, for example, would be, you know, like reactional, thinking about the cycle of that we go through, like kind of being more wounded, reactional, thinking about things in a perhaps a more needy way or something. You know, I'm not using the best terminology, but it's the kind of lower thoughts and reactions than the higher choices that we might make. Now, we're all going to do both. I'm definitely not sat here saying I don't ever have any toxic feminine or masculine. We're absolutely on the journey together of evolving. And we're not, you know, it's not this point of enlightenment yet, I don't believe, where we're going to get to a point and go, it's all done, I've learned everything I need to know now. It's not like that. So we're always on the journey of learning more, of evolving more, of making our next highest choices, becoming our next best version, basically, however that kind of resonates with you. So there's an interesting theme with these energies rising. We are at a really heightened point of frequency in our evolutionary state at the moment, I believe. I believe it's a really fascinating time to be alive, and to have this level of consciousness that we're in as a collective is really interesting. We're doing an incredible amount of growing. We've done an incredible amount, and there's still more to go, I believe. And again, back to another reason why I like to share these conversations with you. We're in it together, and we're growing. And that's, you know, sometimes out of the comfort zone. So we've got our divine masculine and feminine counterparts within all of us, growing and assisting, and this weekend's energy is a really good highlighting of that. Now, it is a short-term piece of astrology that links to a bigger picture of our evolving and these things rising generally at this time and on a long-term basis. But the astrology today gave me a good reminder of the impetus that we have for these energies being highlighted today in a more kind of direct way. So the divine feminine rising in all of us, that's really, in a nutshell, our ability to slow down. This is going into self-care, the theme of self-care now as well. The two are very linked. So self-care is something that's bandied around so much, you know, take the long baths, go for the massages, do all those things, and that's all great. And if we can do that and afford that time out and afford those investments, brilliant. That is absolutely great self-care, but please don't use those things as something on your to-do list and with a stick to beat yourself with if you can't get to that. It's making self-care work for you. That's really something else that I'm really passionate about, something that, you know, is going to be realistic, something that's going to be achievable. And this is why I talk about really short-term tools as well as bigger things. So if you have nothing else, it's 5 minutes feet in the garden, or a 5-minute guided meditation, or just 5 minutes of breathing, stretching, yoga, whatever it is that you can manage in your space, in your day. Ideally, you know, maybe at the first thing when you wake up and the last thing before you go to bed. Those are sometimes my minimum. If I've got nothing else, I'll do 5 minutes first thing of some meditation or some visualizations, and at the very end of the day as well. And I use my protection that I call in. I like to use the violet flame. I do that every night before bed, and again, a little bit on visualizations and gratitudes. Always do my gratitudes every day as well. And as a minimum, those would be 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening. That's if I've got nothing else, if I'm super busy. And this whole busy thing is really interesting as well. So busy in itself as a concept is toxic masculine energy. So it, you know, again, to give you some examples of what I mean by this difference between toxic and divine in terms of moving to a higher evolutionary state and a higher level of consciousness in ourselves individually and as a collective. One of the really good examples there is this busy culture that we have. It's very toxic masculine. It's the 9 to 5s. It's productivity means more hours. Productivity means striving, pushing, hustling. That's all really toxic masculine. Whereas, let's just switch it up a bit and think of a divine masculine example. Would be productivity, would be structured and disciplined and boundaried, but without the hustling. It would be solid parameters, it would be clarity, it would be a solidity in oneself and in one's work or whatever it is, of how, whatever the productivity area is in. It would be very clear and very structured, but not with the hustling, not with the sales, not with being salesy, not with trying to push people into things. It wouldn't be exploitative. It wouldn't be working beyond what makes you feel well. That's going all into toxic masculine. The divine feminine rising, as is the masculine, and that example that we have today with the moon and Venus activating is in Cancer, is this beautiful reminder of the power in our being, in our beingness rather than our doingness. So sitting, alluring, attracting, and it doesn't mean we stop, it's not that, but it's about how we're productive. So it's really great to have a balance of being creative. It's not all output, so it's not all busy, so that we have some time out to explore our passions, to explore our creativity, to explore time with family as well. This is another really good reminder of balancing these energies today, and particularly Cancer. And we're sort of naturally now going into the third theme of tribe. So tribe being a super Cancerian theme. Cancerian energy is about taking the self-care and the deep nourishment, filling one's cup so fully that it naturally spills out onto others around us. And that's our loved ones, our friends, and then also in terms of the ripple effect, the collective as well. So any work we do on ourselves, any self-care, however big or small, has a massive impact on not only our own energy and health on every level, but those around us and the collective. So anybody who says or has thought, as I have before, that it's selfish to take time out, it's absolutely counter-intuitive advice. So to fill one's own cup first actually naturally fills those around us as well. We're of better service to others by being of better service to ourselves first. And there's been a lot of conditioning about against that, really, that we should do for others first, and that we should look to sacrificing oneself to support others, and those days are really outdated now. That's really old energy. That was very interesting around the age of Pisces, the previous kind of collective energy that we've moved away from now. So the age of Aquarius being very different. The age of Aquarius about serving our unique energy in a way that fits, that also serves the collective, but it starts with us. So it's really more of a power to the people type thing. It doesn't have to be an anarchy sense like that, but in terms of really knowing our own power, our own truth, our own worth. So it's a really, really exciting and powerful time to be alive, as individuals and as a collective. So the self-care fills our own cup, and then it fills our tribe as well. So Cancer time, and just generally, it's so important for this journey to have our tribe of our trusted people, of our resonating people. And I've recently posted about all of this, actually. So if you're not already following me on social media, I would invite you to click the links below and come and join me over on Facebook and Instagram, because that's where I post the most amount of my content. I'm here every week doing this, every Friday, but I post a lot of content on my socials in between about the energies and various other things. So please join me there, and subscribe here as well, please. Is very helpful if you haven't already, especially in terms of book publishing coming up. So that would be amazingly helpful. Thank you. And over on my socials, I've recently posted about Penthouse Tribe. So this is interesting because tribe is so important to us. Cancerian energy highlights this, but this is really important for us moving forward anytime, all the time. our people we're not for everyone, and not everyone's for us, in a real nutshell. So we are going to thrive better and grow and evolve at a more comfortable rate, and at a quicker rate as well. If if naturally, if you think about it like that, we're going to be able to make better choices. We're going to be able to nurture ourselves more deeply if we have the right tribe. Now, this can be a real process of trial and error, of course, and as the energies shift, and I believe as the energies get of a higher frequency, things are more easily shown where things are out of alignment. So I bet as I say that now, if you think of the first situation that comes to you, about a situation with somebody else in your life that doesn't feel in alignment, and you might really want it to, or it might have been in alignment for a long time and then it no longer isn't. I think about friendships that change. It's really, really sad. But if we have, people around us who are not our people, we are potentially, draining out life force energy, and not in the right place, basically. So the Penthouse Tribe is about being surrounded by unconditional love. So a good friend, why I call it the Penthouse Tribe, is a good friend and spiritual guide of mine, a good friend called Lise. She said to me a few years ago, we were talking about evolving, and we were talking about our people, and we were talking about relationships, and she said that finding your tribe is a bit like going to the penthouse. Where we're going is the penthouse, and in the penthouse you are only met with unconditional love. So if you're experiencing right now any judgment, any dishonest energy, any manipulative energy, any energy that doesn't bring you joy, doesn't feel vibey, doesn't feel like it's serving you, it doesn't bring a feeling of well-being into your life, then you're not with your Penthouse Tribe. Now that can be really sad, and it can feel quite lonely for a while, I think, when we're finding our Penthouse Tribe. Or you might just have one person, and I totally get that, and I think that's why it's really important that we're connecting more online, because sometimes it's easier to do that than it is in person sometimes. So at least we might have that, if not a huge amount of Penthouse Tribe, but they are coming, because I believe as we keep evolving, as we keep moving to our highest potential, as we keep moving to our true north. And what I mean by that is the journey that resonates with you of where you're supposed to be going, things that can, yes, sometimes feel really scary or inconvenient or the unknown, but you just know that they're filling your heart with a yes. If it's a huge yes, then you have to go for it anyway, whatever that is, whether it's a change in career path, whether it's a change in relationship, whether it's a change in friendship, or something having to go that you just know feels right in your heart not to be in anymore. These are all indicators and actually shifts and opportunities and nudges from the universe to support you onto your true north. So enjoy finding your Penthouse Tribe if you're not already. It's going to feel absolutely fucking awesome when you're with your Penthouse Tribe. So do hang out for it. Do know that you're worthy of it. And if they're not all around you, if your Penthouse Tribe aren't all around you already, then know that they are coming through your alignment as well. So through your alignment of your worth in yourself, not settling for less, not settling for the judgment. These are not your people. Judgment, haters, talkers, this is what I've been posting about lately. These are not your people. Smile and wave and keep on walking. Your people will be humble, honourable, loyal, trustworthy, loving, unconditionally loving. They're not necessarily going to bullshit you. They're going to be honest with you when you've, mess something up in some way, or when you're not showing up as your honest self, or when you're not living in your worth as much as you could. They might see your potential more than you do sometimes, but they are your people. They are your people. If they're your people because it's unconditionally loving and it's honest and it's true. So enjoy the journey. Sending you so much love on the way. You've got some tools from today, I hope, of the self-care, making it realistic self-care. I've just opened, actually it's not even gone out on my socials yet, I'm going to post about it later, but I've today, to kind of celebrate this energy and to offer out more accessibility on self-care, I'm offering a new service of 15-minute self-care consults. And you can choose from either a boost of self-care through Reiki in 15 minutes, or you can have a consult with me around your birth chart and look at how self-care practices will actually work for you and your unique blueprint. Or we can have a look at another 15 minutes. We could have another option could be an oracle or a tarot pull and get a purely intuitive universal hit of guidance on your what you're needing at the moment for your highest good. And they're just £10 and they're online. So if you want to book one of those, do message me or comment below and I can connect with you and hook up there. Or direct message through my socials. Actually, that's reminding me, let's have a little card. Of course, we've got the Healing Waters here. Beautiful artwork on the back of the Healing Waters by Rebecca Campbell. I can't wait to share my own oracle deck with you as soon as possible. It's so nearly finished now. Only 4 cards from finishing now from a 44 card deck, so I'm super excited to be finishing that and getting it published hopefully soon. Again, any subscribing really helps, please do, because the publishers, you know, they love to see that I've got an audience, and we're going to have that one, and it really helps with publishing of my creative works. Oh, I love that. So we've got the wishing well. How perfect for a new moon. Again, we can utilize this anytime, but we've got new moon this evening, guys. So do it any time, but also set those intentions. So we've got the wishing well, unexpected gifts, kindness, karmic jewels. I love that. So this is also reminding me about the gifts within things breaking down, the gifts within adversity, which again is something I talk a lot about and write a lot about. If you're in the thick of, you know, changes, job changes, relationship changes, all of any of those kind of things, process what you need to process, do the healing that you need to do. We're not bypassing any healing, we're not acknowledging any healing, and we're not under validating feelings and processes. That's not it. I'm not saying skip to all the goodness and pretend that's all not happening. It's not that. It's about giving yourself the appropriate time and care to go through any processes of healing and change that you need to, and then you are in a clearer, more joyous position to be in alignment with your correct tribe, with your penthouse tribe. So enjoy the unexpected gifts that can feel a little chaotic or reactional or triggering at first, but with the nourishing self-care, we get through, and then we are in a more aligned space of evolving. So as always, evolving with you. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Much love.